This Football Friday, as we get ready, believe it or not, Week 11 in the league is, it's amazing. It goes so fast. Nothing like it. Really, it's amazing how fast it goes. Steelers last night, as I said to you yesterday, I thought the Steelers would win that game going away. They did. Mariota wasn't very good. Steelers are, when they're home, Roethlisberger's a different player. We know that. And the game got away from Tennessee. Tennessee has to keep those games close where they can utilize the running game. If they can't, if they have to play from behind, they're not a team that can do that. It's not who they are. So not a surprising loss. Maybe the margin's surprising to a couple people, but Pittsburgh wins going away. This is a year where the Steelers have a chance. Now, are they able to beat New England in a big spot? They've never been able to. So we'll see. That will probably be something they're going to have to do before they can get anything done in the AFC. As far as basketball, big win for the Celtics last night, coming from behind to beat the Warriors as they did. So right now, Boston is penning a remarkable story. And in the NFL, it remains, as we said yesterday in our chat with Al Michaels, it remains off the field in every way. The epic battle now between the commissioner and Jerry Jones. You're talking about a owner who is not afraid to really pushes chips to the middle of the table, and a commissioner who is absolutely a bulldog who loves a fight and wants a fight and looks for a fight at every turn. So that's what you have right now. It'll be interesting. And the Giants, any pride in that team? After the last 2 weeks, that's the first question we got to ask. Forget X's and O's right now. Is there any pride in that team right now? Are they going to first go out there? And I know I'd say yes about the offense because I haven't seen the offense. Whether they can block somebody, we know, is a problem. Whether they can develop a running game is a problem. Whether they're going to catch the ball is a problem. Whether Eli's going to hold onto the ball if he gets hit, is he going to fumble, is a problem. If that is a day where things don't happen that way, the offense will put some points up. But the defense has fallen onto such a level. You don't know if Snacks Harrison's going to play. The Giants are banged up at a lot of positions. They don't handle tight ends in any way. And now here comes not only a team that utilizes its tight ends to the fullest, a team that has the best catching tight end right now in the sport in Kelsey. And a lot of weapons. I mean, if you're going to give a bad effort in the secondary, Hill is going to embarrass you. If you want to miss tackles or give a half an effort on tackles, Hill will embarrass you with his speed. So this offense could embarrass them. This is an offense way better than what the Rams have. This is an offense way better than what they saw last week, which is an inept offense that went out there and got 30. So the question first, foremost, do they show any pride in this game? That's the first thing you want to see. If Kansas City comes out, takes the opening kickoff after the Giants kick it out of bounds again, and comes to short field and stick it in the end zone, that stadium's going to be ugly. Casey and Bethpage starts us off. What's up, Casey?
Yeah, Mike, as a season ticket holder, I told you 2 weeks ago that I sold all my tickets before the collapse last week in San Francisco when we all thought they were actually going to show up and play against one of the worst teams in the league, and they didn't even show up. You know what the Giants are, Mike? You know what that is? Fool's gold. That's what they are. They're fool's gold at the highest. They think they have players. They don't have players. They really don't. How many stars, Mike? How many stars when the season started on offense? Count them. How many did you really have? Stars, players.
Listen, they have one of the best.
Give it to me. On offense, who are they?
I'm not going to listen. I don't have to tell you who they are. We all know who they are.
Beckham. That's all you got.
Oh, is that enough? They don't have a quarterback. You don't have a good quarterback.
He's 37.
It doesn't matter. He can still play really well. He's not the problem. He can play if you block for him. Now they have a bad offensive line. They have no running game. They had plenty of wide receivers. We knew that. They had a tremendous defense from last year, led by 2 first-team All-Pros. 2. And neither one's played well this year. Led by some very good players. Vernon played very well last year. JP still played well. Jenkins played terrifically last year. Rogers Cromartie can play. They had plenty of guys who can play on that team. They weren't great at linebacker. We know that. But they had plenty of guys who could play. They had guys playing at the highest level on defense last year. Collins played like a great defensive player last year. He has been half of that this year, at best. Harrison's had a bad year compared to what he did last year, where he was the number one run stopper in the league. He hasn't been even close to that. Now he's on a bad ankle. We don't know he's going to play. Vernon has been terribly missed. Not every guy on that defense has not tried. Never painted that picture, but you don't need every guy not to try. All you need is a couple of guys not to try, and your defense is going to fall apart. And this week, this team's going to put pressure on you in every possible way on defense. They are going to pressure you in every way. They're going to pressure you in points that are very vulnerable for you, and they're going to create some that you're not even ready for. So if you aren't ready to give an ultimate effort on defense this week, this team could embarrass you with their offense. Bob in Connecticut, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking the call.
Yeah.
Quick Giant point, but I just wanted to let you know that was great yesterday with Coach Calhoun.
Good, thanks.
You know what he's meant to this town up here. I'm up here 50 years in Mansfield and Stores. What he's done to this community can't get put into words. So I really appreciate you having him on. And a side note, he's actually taking his old assistant coach, Glenn Miller, with him to St. Joe's.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So, it's a fun thing for him. Yeah.
And Mike, quick one on the Giants. Do you believe, two questions, do you believe the coach's path is already sealed? And do you also believe...
I think now he'd have to turn it around to stay. I think now there would have to be an ascent in performance from where we've been the last couple of weeks.
And based on the opponents that are coming in, do you feel also if that turns into Dallas Stadium or Philadelphia Stadium, will that also influence the owners?
Enormously. No shows influence them. The other team having the tickets influences them. Fans booing influences them. Letters they get influence them. They are influenced by the customer. I've told you this many times, and those of you who have taken the time to write John Mara a letter know you receive a reply. I get CC'd a lot of those letters. The fans send a copy to me, and so I sit there and see him, and I get him in the mail. And I'm telling you, as you know, he reacts to that mail. I don't know of a football team or a sports team, I've told you this many times, that reacts to their customers more than the Giants do. So when Jenkins says, who cares, the owner does. He cares what you think. He cares if you go to the game. He does. They still treat this like they have the corner grocery store. That's their mentality, that they worry about their customers. They react to their customers. And, Jenkins, you react to him, it gets noted. You stay home, it gets noted. You sell your seat, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of Chief fans in that building. The Chiefs are a weird team here, so I know how great they are at home. I don't know how passionate they are as far as being travelers, because that's a team we don't see here a lot. So I don't know how much they'll travel compared to other teams where when you're dealing with the Raiders or the Dolphins or the Cowboys or the Steelers or the Packers, you're getting enormous amounts of people into the building. So I don't know if they're going to buy up a bunch of seats or not, but empty seats matter. Alan Paramus, what's up, Al?
Mike, it's really been a pleasure calling you, listening to you. And I've always said to my friends when I call Joe and Evan, who I love, I wear jeans and a T-shirt. But when I call Mike, I have to dress up in a suit and a tie.
No, that's not right. That's not necessary. But go ahead. What's on your mind?
The Giants locker room. Wins and losses, of course, it's on McAdoo. But it's disruption in the locker room, like, all on him. And the reason I say
it's all on him. It's his locker room.
Well, here's the reason I say it. Tom Coughlin, a Hall of Fame coach, he had no control. So how is a coach that's never won anything supposed to try and control a problem?
What do you mean Coughlin had no control?
Well, look at...
No control of what?
Well, but it started...
Just one time. Listen, Tom Coughlin had control of that team completely. The only problem he had is early on, the players thought he was too rigid. He actually changed for them a little bit because guys like Strahan went to him. He bought in, and they went out and they won championships. He changed a little bit. He got together a committee of veterans. He did some of the things they wanted to do. He eased up a little bit by his own admission. He changed his temperament a little. That he did. Okay. He never didn't let guys hustle. And the Beckham thing that day was not a non-hustle issue. It was the issue where he just was so out of control mentally on the field that I thought Tom had to sit him down because he was just out of control. He had lost it to the point where he was no longer functioning like a football player. That's where I thought Tom really missed it. Now, Tom did not do a good job of getting whether the ownership backed off and didn't want him going after Beckham. There was this idea early on, and it was such a foolhardy idea, and it has been destructive. And now you're hearing it. You heard it from me from the beginning. You hear it now in a lot of places. Oh, Beckham ruined his team. I was screaming about Beckham since day one. Because if you allow someone to basically trample every part of discipline that you have on a team, it's going to come back to haunt you. And they let him do that because they were so taken by his talent that they had this theory. And when I talked to them privately, and I did, a couple of them, I heard the same thing. We don't want to break his spirit. So is there a fine line with basically putting him under your thumb a little bit and breaking his spirit? Yes, but that's what coaching's about, is being able to get your point across without breaking his spirit. But what he's done is that lack of discipline has ruined that team. Because when you try to clamp down on a team when you didn't clamp down before, when you had McAdoo in a press conference, when Beckham acted up saying, why rather accentuate the great plays he made? Wrong answer. Deadly wrong answer. I know coaches who said when he made that comment about, kicking off at the 5 is the price you might have to pay, said that would have been the last comment he ever made publicly. That comment was so detrimental to who they are as a team that it just spun out of control. And it started with him. And on top of it, you don't have him scoring touchdowns anymore. Here's the Mink Man.